as one of those that completed the 10-kilometer race of the Mandela Marathon. I feel healthy. Together with some of my colleagues and the ladies who are with us. So we congratulate ourselves for the job well done. I was going to bring my medal, but I thought you guys will say maybe I'm aspiring for something with a Petrine cross. Dr. Martin Luther King, is a civil liberation leader. He said, the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards what? Justice. Maybe I can paraphrase in today's context and the gospel that the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice, mercy, and faith. That is what Jesus was presenting to the Pharisees and the scribes. Because we know that in the world of the scribes and the Pharisees, their way of living was to show off who they were by the acts they did more than by who they were. And Jesus comes in that context and shows them it's not to be like that. Yes, he values them as leaders in the society, but at the end of the day, he challenges them and says what God wants, what the people want out there, is justice, mercy, and faith. Not everything else that you do doesn't matter. And he keeps reminding them and talking about them, saying, you hypocrites. Yesterday we read about them, today and tomorrow we continue. It's a wake-up call for them at that time, but also it is a wake-up call for you and I. To be reminded of the very fact that sometimes, much as we may laugh at the scribes as hypocrites, much as we may laugh at the Pharisees, each one of us, once in a while, we falter. We become like the scribes. We become like the Pharisees. And in each one of us, that is what we are supposed to remind ourselves and enter deeply into what we are about as a people of faith. People that are reminded that what matters is justice, mercy, and faith. And the Pharisees overlooked all that for the very poor, the unaware of God, for the marginalized of the society. They never cared for them, because for them it was just do the act and God is happy, forget about the rest of the society. Forget about the community. That is the challenge which is given to each one of us. That is not just the externals that matter, but exactly what those externals mean and interpret within our own lives. Because that's where faith comes from. It's not just by the doing, but it's by being that faith. It's by being the messenger of Jesus Christ. It's by being that belief of the gospel that we have been invited and we are called to be and to continue becoming. So that when we go out there in ministry, in mission, in evangelization, we know that what we bring to the faith, to the people of God, is justice, mercy, and good faith. That's what Jesus has given us today. Very, very important. We celebrate a great woman, Monica, the mother of St. Augustine, another great saint. And we are told when you read about Monica shedding tears for her son for many, many months, weeks, years, because she wanted her son to be converted. And she tried as much as possible to do that. One of the bishops even said, because of your tears that you've shed so much touching the ground, I can guarantee you that your son, Augustine, will not perish. He will find justice, he will find mercy, and he will find faith. And for sure, Augustine did find all these ingredients. I call them the tridium that Jesus gives us today, about living our faith, about being committed Christians, both in our communities and wherever we are. And talking about Monica herself, she's a mother who shed tears, and I think today and this month, as we come to the close of the celebrating the Women's Month, we know that there's a lot of injustices that are happening in the world. A lot of them. We know in our families, we know in our communities, and we know wherever we work, that the injustices against women have tremendously escalated. So the tears of Monica are still being shed when we see a woman being trafficked for sex outside or within our countries. The tears of Monica, we still see them being shed when we see a woman wakes up and she doesn't know where the next meal of her son or daughter is going to come from. We see the tears of Monica being shed when we treat each other, and especially the women, unjustly. That is our call, that we participate in helping to dignify the image of the humanity of man and woman, so that justice, mercy, and good faith may endure. And Monica did that by putting everything down and putting her son first. We can take off the cloth of the scribe, we can take off the cloth of the Pharisees, so that we can be better persons, can be better evangelizers. And taking off something, I'm reminded of a beautiful story I experienced in Lesotho. I went there to preach a retreat for my brothers. I like to tell this story because it was fascinating. And then we went to the mountain of Tababosio, where we were invited to climb and see where Moshoshwe the first and the second are buried. And so it was a climb about 1 hour or so. So we kept going and going. Halfway through, the lady who was our guide said, pick up a stone. So we did, but we were tired. And we didn't know why she was asking us to pick up the rock. So we picked and we started going, and the next 30 minutes, I just want to drop this stone. Then eventually, as we were just about to climb, seeing the relief to say we're about to be at that mountain, the top. And she said, look on your left, and that's where you are going to leave your stone. So we're excited, we threw the stone. I didn't know what it meant, and I'm sure you don't even know yourselves what it means, maybe those from Lesotho. Then she explained to us and said, look, in the time of King Moshoshwe, during the wars, people would come to the mountain, and he would say, leave all your weapons of mass destruction, if you want, by the side. So that when you do that, you can come to the top of the mountain where we can celebrate and welcome you. And the way I interpret it maybe is a place of justice, a place of mercy, and a place of faith. And I said, oh, now that makes sense. A powerful image that I leave with you this afternoon. Each one of us has a scribe. Each one of us has a Pharisee. They may come in different forms, but as we climb this mountain of the altar, where we'll celebrate Christ present with us. We do it every day, but this is special because it's our Easter celebration. We come to this mountain. It's not Tababosio, but it's a place God is asking us to leave all those things, like we left those stones at the mountain of Tababosio down, so that we may celebrate and serve the Lord worthily, because He is the one who comes to us in justice, in mercy, and in faith. The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice, mercy, and faith.